Don't be dramatic, pack your bags, and learn to live on your own. Those words hit me like a freight train that came from the woman I once thought of as my own daughter. The woman my son loved so deeply, and she said them the day after his funeral. Before we continue, please write in the comments which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. My name is Margaret, and I'm 68 years old. I never imagined I'd lose my son before I left this world. He was my only child, my miracle baby. After his father died in a car accident when Michael was just 6, it had been just the two of us. We were inseparable, and then came her Jessica. She was young, beautiful, and ambitious. Michael adored her from the start, and because I loved my son, I opened my arms to her too. I welcomed Jessica into my home, into my family, into my life. I never imagined she'd one day look me in the eye and tell me to leave like I was a stranger. Michael and Jessica had been married for 8 years. No kids yet, but they had each other and me. After my retirement, I moved into their guest house. Not because I wanted to cling to Michael, but because he asked me to. "Mum," he'd said, wrapping his arm around my shoulder, "you've given everything for me. Let me take care of you now." And for a while, life was perfect. We shared dinners, we watched movies together. Jessica and I even baked cookies on holidays. I truly thought we were a family. Then, Michael got sick. It started as fatigue, then persistent coughs, then hospital visits. The diagnosis, aggressive lung cancer. My world shattered. I prayed every night, begged every doctor. But within a year, my son was gone. And that's when everything changed. The night after the funeral, Jessica called me into the living room. She sat on the couch, legs crossed, sipping wine like it was just another evening. I stood there in my black dress, clutching the photo of Michael I'd been holding all day. "Margaret," she said casually, "we need to talk about living arrangements." My heart sank. "Living arrangements?" I whispered. She nodded, swirling her wine. "Yes, I think it's best if you move out. Start fresh. You know, learn to live on your own." I stared at her, numb. "Move out? Jessica, this is my son's home," she shrugged. "Michael's gone now. It's my home, and honestly, I need space. You hovering around isn't healthy for either of us." My voice cracked. I just lost my son. Her eyes were cold as steel when she replied, "Don't be dramatic. Pack your bags." And then she walked away. That night, I sat in my room, my son's guest house, crying silently into the pillow Michael had bought me. I thought about all the sacrifices I'd made, the years I spent raising him alone, the love I poured into Jessica like she was my own child, and now tossed aside like yesterday's trash. But as I stared at the ceiling, something inside me snapped. If Jessica thought she could erase me from Michael's life, from his legacy, she was about to learn she picked the wrong mother. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the packed boxes around me. Jessica's words kept echoing in my head. "Don't be dramatic. Pack your bags." The audacity, the cruelty, the way she said it without a shred of emotion, like Michael's death meant nothing. But as much as I wanted to scream at her, I knew better. Jessica wasn't just being cold. She was being strategic. And if I wanted answers, I had to be smart. The next morning, I walked into the main house quietly. Jessica was on the phone in the kitchen, her back turned to me. Her voice was low, but I caught pieces of her conversation. "Yes, it's all under my name now. No, his mother is leaving today. Don't worry, I'll wire the funds as soon as the account clears. My blood ran cold. Funds, account. What funds was she talking about? I stepped back before she could see me, and returned to the guest house, my mind spinning. Michael had life insurance. I knew that much. But would Jessica really? No, she couldn't, or could she? I decided to look for answers before leaving. Michael's office was in the main house. Never liked going in there because, as she once said, it feels like a museum. That worked in my favor. When she left later to meet a friend, I slipped inside. The office smelled like Michael coffee and cologne. His desk was still neat, his framed college diploma hanging proudly on the wall. I opened drawers carefully, not wanting to make noise. At first I found nothing but pens and papers, but then I saw a small wooden box pushed all the way to the back. It had my name carved on top, Mum. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a letter, folded neatly, and a USB drive. The letter read, "Mum, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. There's something I need you to know." I sat down and kept reading, tears streaming down my face. Michael wrote about Jessica, how she'd changed after he got sick, how she pressured him to sign documents he didn't fully understand. He wrote that he suspected Jessica was hiding something, maybe even using his illness to her advantage. "Please don't trust her," he wrote. "If anything happens, take this drive to the lawyer I've listed on the back. He knows everything." I turned the paper over, and there it was, a name and address, Mr. David Carter, attorney at law. My heart pounded. What was on this drive? What did Michael know? One thing was certain: Jessica had secrets, and my son wanted me to find them. I slipped the USB into my purse, put the box back where I found it, and left the office exactly as it was. By the time Jessica returned, I was packed and ready to leave. She smiled when she saw the boxes stacked by the door. "Good," she said coldly. "I'll call you a cab." I forced a smile. "No need. A friend is picking me up." She nodded, clearly relieved. As I walked out with my suitcase, I promised myself one thing: Jessica was about to regret underestimating me. The cab wasn't for home, it was for Mr. Carter's office, and I had no idea that what I was about to uncover would not only expose Jessica, but shake me to my very core. The cab ride to Mr. Carter's office felt like an eternity. My heart raced the whole way, clutching that tiny USB like it was the last piece of Michael I had left. The office was small, but professional dark wood panels, framed law degrees, and the faint smell of old books. A man in his late 50s greeted me with a warm smile. "You must be Margaret," he said, extending his hand. "I'm David Carter. Michael spoke very highly of you." I swallowed hard. He'd mentioned you too. I handed him the USB and the letter. His face changed the moment he saw the handwriting. I knew he was worried, David murmured, almost to himself. But I didn't realize how much. He gestured for me to sit, then plugged the USB into his computer. What came up on the screen made my stomach twist. There were scanned documents, bank statements, legal papers, and emails. Each one a piece of a puzzle I never wanted to see. Jessica had been moving money. Not just any money: Michael's insurance payout, his savings, and even the equity from the house. How much? I whispered. David clicked through the files. At least $700,000. My breath caught in my throat. "And that's not all," he continued. Pulling up an email thread, Jessica had been in contact with a man named Ryan Cole. The messages were flirtatious, romantic. Even dot, and then I saw the one that made me go cold. Jessica, once this clears, will finally be free. No more old lady in the guest house. No more Michael, just us. My blood boiled. Jessica hadn't just stopped loving Michael. She had been planning her future while he was dying, and she wanted me gone because I stood in her way. I clenched my fists, tears burning my eyes. I want her punished, I said through gritted teeth. David nodded. We will. Michael anticipated this. That's why he made me his legal representative. But Margaret, he hesitated. There's something else you need to see. He opened another feeler video. This time Michael appeared on the screen. Frail and pale, but still managing a weak smile. Hi, Mom, his voice cracked. If you're watching this, I didn't make it, and I'm sorry. I tried to protect you, but Jessica, she's not who you think she is. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. Please, fight for what's yours, for what's ours. I pressed my hand over my mouth, sobbing quietly as my son's voice filled the room. The video ended with him whispering, I love you, Mum. Always. I couldn't speak for a moment. The pain was unbearable, but so was the rage burning inside me. Jessica had broken every ounce of trust I gave her, and now she was going to pay. David handed me a plan. We'll freeze the accounts first, file for fraud and embezzlement. But Margaret, she won't go down quietly. I nodded, wiping my tears. Neither will I. As I left his office, my phone buzzed. Was a text from Jessica. Did you make it home safe? The audacity made me laugh bitterly. I typed back, yes, thank you. Because what Jessica didn't know was that I wasn't going home. I was going to war, and the first battle would be tonight. I had one goal now. Get back into that house before she destroyed any more evidence. But what I didn't expect was to find Jessica already setting a trap for me. Night had fallen by the time I reached the house. The lights inside glowed softly, like everything was normal. But nothing was normal anymore. I stood at the gate for a moment, clutching the spare key Michael gave me years ago. His words echoed in my mind. Always keep this, Mum, just in case. This was the case. I slipped inside quietly. The air smelled faintly of vanilla candles. Jessica always lit them when she wanted to relax. But something about tonight felt off. The house was too quiet, too still. I crept toward Michael's office, planning to grab any other documents he might have left behind, but halfway through the hallway, I froze. Jessica's voice, low, hushed, but I could hear it. I followed the sound to the kitchen. She was on the phone again. Yes, Ryan, I know. I'm handling it. She left this morning. No, she won't be a problem. If she comes back, I'll take care of it. Just trust me. My blood ran cold. Take care of it. What did that mean? I pressed closer, heart pounding. Jessica ended the call, sighed, and poured herself a glass of wine. Then she did something strange. She walked to the guest house door and locked it from the outside. Why would she do that? Unless she planned to trap me there if I came back. I backed away slowly, careful not to make a sound. My mind raced. She knew I might return. She was preparing for it. I slipped upstairs to my old room, the one I stayed in before moving to the guest house. If I was going to confront her, I needed evidence. I opened the closet, scanning for anything unusual. That's when I saw it. A small safe, tucked behind Michael's old jackets, and on top of it a folder labeled property transfer. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside were documents showing Jessica's name on the house deed, the cars, even Michael's. Investment accounts. All signed recently. But something caught my eye. One signature didn't look like Michael's. It looked forged footsteps, creaked in the hallway. Jessica, I shoved the papers back, heart pounding, and slipped behind the door. Just as she entered the room, she stood there for a moment, scanning the space like she knew something was wrong. Then she spoke. I know you're here, Margaret. Her voice was calm. Too calm, you should have just left, she continued, stepping further inside. Now you've made this complicated. I didn't move, didn't breathe. She sighed and set her wine glass on the nightstand. You think you're clever. Digging around, running to lawyers. You have no idea who you're dealing with. My blood boiled. I stepped out from behind the door. You're right, I said, my voice steady. I didn't know, but now I do. Jessica smirked, tilting her head. And what exactly do you plan to do with that knowledge? I'm going to make sure everyone knows who you really are. Her smile faded. For the first time, I saw something in her eyes, fear. But then she laughed. Oh, Margaret, you're old, tired, alone. Who's going to believe you over me? I stared her down. The courts will. And so will Michael's video. Her face went pale. She didn't know I had it. Before she could speak, headlights flashed outside the sound of a car. Pulling into the driveway, Jessica glanced at the window and cursed under her breath. Ryan, the man from the emails, and the way she looked at that door told me one thing. If I didn't act now, I wasn't walking out of this house. The roar of the engine outside grew louder as Ryan's car pulled into the driveway. Jessica's calm mask cracked, just for a second, but it was enough for me to see the panic underneath. She lunged for the folder on the bed, but I grabbed it first, clutching it to my chest like a shield. Give me that, she hissed, her voice sharp and venomous. No, I said firmly. My voice didn't shake this time. You've taken enough from me. The front door opened downstairs. Heavy footsteps echoed through the hallway. A man's voice called out, Jess, you here? Jessica's lips curled into a smile. You shouldn't have come back, Margaret, she whispered. You really shouldn't have. Ryan appeared in the doorway, tall, muscular, with a leather jacket and an expression that screamed trouble. He glanced at me, then at Jessica. What's going on? She's trying to ruin everything, Jessica snapped. She broke in. She stole documents. Ryan's jaw tightened. You want me to handle it? Handle it. The words sent a chill down my spine. Jessica nodded slowly, her eyes locked on me. Yes, make sure she never bothers us again. Before Ryan could move, I raised my voice loud and clear. Touch me, and you'll go to prison, right? Along with her, they both froze. Prison, Ryan scoffed. For what? I smiled, pulling my phone from my pocket. The screen was glowing, the little red circle blinking. I've been recording this entire conversation, I said. Every word, including your little plan to handle me. Jessica's face drained of color. You're bluffing, she spat. Am I? I stepped forward, my grip tight on the phone. And just so you know, it's already backed up to the cloud. If anything happens to me, the world will know everything about the money, the forged documents, the affair, all of it. Ryan looked at Jessica, his expression darkening. You didn't tell me about that. She's lying, Jessica shrieked. She's no Jess, he cut her off, his voice cold now. You're the one lying to me. The room erupted into chaos. Jessica lunged for me, but Ryan grabbed her arm mid-air. "Let go of me," she screamed, thrashing wildly. Ryan's voice was low and sharp. "You said it was all taken care of. You said there were no loose ends." I took a step back toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest. This was my chance. While they argued, I slipped out of the room, down the hallway, and straight to the front door. My fingers fumbled with the lock, but I yanked it open and ran outside. The night air hit me like a shock. I sprinted down the driveway, clutching the folder, my phone still recording in my pocket. Behind me, Jessica screamed my name, her voice full of rage, but I didn't look back. A cab was waiting at the corner. Thank God for Mr. Carter, who had insisted on sending a driver to keep an eye on me. I dove inside, slammed the door shut, and shouted, "Go," as the car sped away. I looked back one last time. Jessica stood in the doorway, her perfect hair disheveled, her face twisted with fury, and for the first time since Michael died, I smiled. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. David filed the lawsuits. The recording went public. News outlets picked up the story. Widow exposes daughter-in-law's $1 million scam. Jessica was arrested for fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. Ryan cut a deal with the police and testified against her. The house, it was legally restored to my name, just like Michael wanted, but I didn't move back in. Instead, I sold it and used the money to start a foundation in Michael's name to help families fight elder exploitation, because no one should ever feel as alone as I did that night, the day Jessica was sentenced. I sat in the courtroom, watching her in that orange jumpsuit. She turned to me as the guards led her away and hissed, "You ruined my life." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "No, Jessica, you ruined your own." That night, I visited Michael's grave. I placed a single white rose on the headstone and whispered, "I kept my promise, son. She never hurt anyone again." As I walked away, the wind blew softly through the trees, and for the first time in a long time, I felt peace. Before you go, let us know in the comments which country you're watching this video from. And remember, family isn't about blood. It's about loyalty, love, and respect.